Let me refocus my camera. Is this thing focused? Alright, so for those of you who do not know who I am, let me introduce myself. My name is Andrew. I'm a 4th year political science major, and I'm currently a foreign exchange student here in the great metropolitan area of Tokyo.
Please listen carefully.
But I'm actually in the suburbs of Tokyo. Anyway, originally from the University of California, Irvine, which is also kind of a suburban setting. I currently study at International Christian University.
So I left my home suburban university for a foreign suburban university.
What I wanted to do was answer some questions that people ask me about what it's like studying abroad and how they can do it, and questions like that. Questions that you probably could get answered from your study abroad counselor, but
I'll try my best to answer the questions that you have for me.
Question that I got asked: how long are you studying abroad, and what are classes like in Japan?
I got here August 27th of 2015, and I'll be here until June of 2016.
Classes? I guess classes. Classes. Classes in Japan are kind of small.
And I say that because I come from the University of California, Irvine, which has class sizes of about 300.
Here it's about 30. The best word I can come up with for classes is interesting. No, that would be a lie. It's like going back to high school. That's what it's like going back to school in Japan. There's about only 30 students per class. The teachers really begin to recognize their students.
So that means you're no longer holding yourself accountable. The teachers begin to.
In contrast to in the States where, there's 300 kids, here, just because you're in their class, teachers begin to recognize you and know who you are. That can be good and bad depending on what kind of student you are. Personally for me, oh god, I probably shouldn't say this on camera. I was a student that typically never went to class, but I still did good. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to study abroad.
And if you want me to explain that, I can do that in a whole separate video.
And that was fine in the States because teachers don't really give a if you show up or not, because they got other students to worry about. As long as you do good on the test, you're golden, you're good. But in Japan, that's not the case. Most of my classes are attendance and participation. Obviously, that's different for classes that you take, but for me, at my university and my experiences,
a lot of my classes are graded based on attendance.
And the last time attendance really mattered and determined my grade for class, I guess, was high school.
For me, that kind of sucks because when I show up late to class or when I don't go to class,
teachers usually kind of sometimes pull me aside and say, where you been? Or why were you late today for the 5th time in this week? I realize now that that's the whole week. So that's what class sizes are like in Japan. Curriculum-wise,
I guess,
compared to the States, some of the classes that I've taken, I found to be a lot less stressful than the ones I take at Irvine. That pretty much just means they're a lot easier. I say that knowing that each student learns a different way, each student excels at a different subject. For me, classes are easier in Japan. It's not because I'm required to go to class. Sometimes I still don't go to class in Japan. No, I don't endorse not going to class. Go to class. Classes in Japan, relatively easier, except, and this is my university, for the JOP program. So I'm studying in Japan through the UCAP program. Because I'm here for a year, I was required to take JOP, which stands for Japanese Language Program. I knew no Japanese when coming to Japan. I was actually really excited to learn Japanese. But the thing at ICU is their JOP program, let me zoom in for dramatic effect, it sucks. And I say it sucks because it truly does. The reason being is that the teachers don't know any English, so it's really hard when you walk in a classroom not knowing any Japanese and they begin teaching to you in Japanese. On my 2nd day of class, I was handed a worksheet containing one of the 3 alphabets that Japan has and told to go learn it on my own in the next 2 days.
Then on the 2nd day, she handed me the 2nd out of the 3 alphabets that Japan has and told me to learn that in 2 days, and that next week we would be starting kanji, which is their 3rd alphabet.
Long story short,
They wanted me to learn all of the Japanese alphabet on my own in a week.
What the f? ICU?
After some discussion with the counselors at ICU and giving them my own personal reasons of why the classroom was pretty much stressing me the out,
I don't have to take JOP. Although that does kind of suck because that means I don't know any Japanese and I am not in the process of learning any. So going around Japan is a little difficult sometimes. But that's cool because I still have my sanity intact. What's left of it. If you're watching this and you're going to ICU and you're taking JOP,
my condolences. Come on.
So anyway, classes in Japan, if you're not taking JOP, because it sucks, are pretty easy. How did I find my part-time teaching job? Fun fact, part-time job is baito in Japanese. See, I know some Japanese. So I found my English teaching job
the same way I found my Corgi, the same way I find some of my shoes, and the same way I found my car.
Craigslist. So Craigslist is the definitive tool used by most ryugakuseis, which means foreign exchange students, to find a part-time English teaching job in Japan. I say that understanding that some of you may find that to be very sketchy. Sketchy meaning, what does sketchy mean? Sketchy. Disreputable. Yeah. But you have to understand that in Japan it's a really safe society and a lot of people do use Craigslist to find jobs, and I found Craigslist to use a job, and I'm still alive and I'm not the only one. So, yeah. Should I study in Japan even though I don't speak the language? I would. I'm doing it. I really like the fact that I'm in Japan right now. You know, it sucks that I don't speak the language, but that doesn't mean that you can't have, you know, a wonderful experience that is life-altering, life-changing while being abroad. Being in Japan, I've gotten the opportunity to go to countries such as Hong Kong, Taiwan, I'm going to Korea in spring. And I don't speak the language for any of those countries, but I had a great time in Hong Kong, I had a wonderful time in Taiwan. I also went to Vietnam, but I speak the language there, so. Did I make friends that allowed me to hang out outside of my university? Yeah, I did.
I made friends with people from other universities, I made friends with people in the university, and I've made friends with strangers on the street.
If you're wondering how, it's because when I hear English, I tend to just turn around and say, hey, you're speaking English. Want to be my friend? I actually do that. I made a friend once at a donut shop because I heard him speak English. You definitely are not tied down. Not tied down, that's not the word. Confined to the university if you want to go out. It's really easy to make friends. You just have to put in the effort to do so. And I've made friends that speak nothing but Japanese. And, you know, somehow we're friends. We can't understand each other, but we're friends, I think. Did you ever hang out alone and were you fine with that? Of course I'm fine with that. I love me. You gotta understand that hanging out alone isn't as lonely as it sounds. It's a very rewarding experience to be able to hang out by yourself and still enjoy your own company, I guess. I've traveled alone to Taiwan.
And it was a great experience. I got to see a lot. I got to do a lot of what I want to do. And I didn't have to answer to anybody. I didn't have to work with anyone's schedule. I got to do things on my own time.
On my own accord. And I really enjoyed that. That doesn't mean I don't enjoy hanging out with people or friends. I do hang out with friends. But I also enjoy time alone and hanging out with myself. Everyone owes it to themselves to hang out with yourself. And it's not me being a sad, creepy person. I'm sad and creepy in other ways. Have you ever had to spend a whole week alone by yourself? You really get to know yourself, and then you can kind of see why people dig you. Did Google Translate help me out a lot?
One time I was trying to get dumplings, and I was trying to translate which dumplings were what.
It told me I was ordering hot soup, so Google Translate isn't always the best answer to your translating needs. Any apps I should consider going abroad? Google Maps. With Google Maps, you're never lost. That also means that you need data though. So before I recommend any apps,
I recommend that you get a SIM-free card for internet to use the apps.
Otherwise, this is just all pointless. That's pretty much the questions that I've been asked so far that I can remember or find on the YouTube comments. If you have any questions for me, feel free to contact me or just write it in the comments below. I really enjoyed making this kind of video, and well, I'm pretty sure because people always have questions. But if it's something that, you know, I notice is really helpful, I'll keep doing them. Yeah. Hope you guys had fun.